Formula One's most famous team and the four-time world champion, once dipped to restore its glory days, are in the final throes of a fractured relationship in which each side is failing the other. But how are they doing this? That's what you'll find out in this episode. Let's get started. What's up guys, Formula News here, and on today's episode, how are Ferrari and Vettel failing each other? Vettel screwed up in the 70th anniversary Grand Prix with his half spin. Ferrari screwed up with a strategy blunder that contained Vettel's recovery to 12th. Vettel told his engineer in no uncertain terms that you've messed up. Ferrari team boss Matteo Binotto countered on Italian television that spinning at the first corner did more damage than any strategy call thereafter. This friendly fire occurred less than 24 hours after Ferrari's sporting director Laurent Mekies had fielded questions about Vettel's ongoing pace deficit and Vettel's assertion that he has hit a wall with car performance and lap time, with Mekies insisting it was Ferrari's responsibility to help its driver as much as possible. The most fractious moment occurred a few laps before mid-distance in the 70th anniversary Grand Prix when Vettel was about to be caught by teammate Charles Leclerc, who had already made his first pit stop. Vettel wanted to extend his stint, but Ferrari called him into the pits. He rejoined in traffic and was deeply unhappy, telling his team this is exactly what he warned them would happen and they had agreed pre-race for this to be avoided. Vettel's race was already badly compromised by his error and made worse by the call, which appears to have been made to remove Vettel from Leclerc's path. Not wanting Vettel to hold up Leclerc is fine, but if this was the solution, it's a sad indication of how bad the situation is at Ferrari that the team fears a lack of cooperation on track. Unfortunately for Vettel, that means he is not the first priority because only once in 5 races has he been the driver in position to bank a decent result. He must take a large part of the responsibility for that. Repeated mistakes are constantly hurting the 4-time world champion's reputation. This time, he cut the first corner too aggressively, possibly distracted by Leclerc who locked up in front, or the Red Bull of Alex Albon on his outside, which resulted in a tank slapper and half spun the car. At that point, Vettel's best hope was of sneaking a point or two, and a perfect Ferrari strategy probably would have achieved that. So Ferrari's actions probably meant it failed to maximize its points unless Vettel had obstructed Leclerc in a way that prevented Leclerc's impressive march to 4th on an unexpected one-stop strategy. But Vettel's error was worse, which might be why he drew the line and biting on the suggestion that he was now just a pawn to be sacrificed as required. Alright, let's just chill out for a second and try to process information, and as you're doing that, may as well just go ahead and hit the like button and the subscribe button so you can stay up to date on all the F1 reports and insights. Now, let's go back to the video. If it doesn't, then the chance or at least the questions of Vettel's exit being fast-tracked will only increase. Things seem better. He ignored Binotto's offer of sympathy over the radio after the British Grand Prix, and while it would be a step too far to call the Spanish weekend's blame game a war of words, it hints at further dissent. This is all happening because Vettel's being dumped as Ferrari's lost faith in him, a decision that looks justified on 2020 results alone. He's struggling on track and getting sucked into the sort of negative spiral that brings the worst out of him. Think 2014 at Red Bull alongside Daniel Ricciardo, or a difficult second season at Ferrari in 2016, or the run of errors that dumped him out of title contention in 2018. And now, it's time for Meme of the Day, and here it is.
Watch this. Roll back. The wooden handbrake is holding me. I simply set off. Oh, yes. Sometimes my genius is... it's almost frightening.
Chaps, are we likely to see a gorilla?
I hope we do see a gorilla, actually. I stay in my bonnet and say, could you do a better job than that?
But look on the bright side, James. It's going to be a scorcher today. Oh, my God!
Oh! Did that?